Have you ever taken off your shoes and wondered, why do my feet smell so bad even after I shower? You're not alone, especially as we age. Foot odor isn't just about hygiene. It often hides in the little habits we overlook. From sweat-trapping socks to forgotten spaces between your toes, smelly feet have surprising causes that most people never consider. In this video, we'll uncover the top 5 sneaky reasons your feet might stink and what you can do starting today to stay fresh and confident. Curious which one applies to you? Let's find out. So why do your feet smell even when you're clean? Let's start with something surprising. Your feet have more sweat glands than any other part of your body, over 250,000 in each foot. And the older we get, the more our body's natural sweat patterns shift. You might think you're sweating less, but in truth, what little sweat you do produce has a harder time evaporating, especially when it's trapped inside socks and shoes all day. Now here's the kicker. Sweat itself doesn't smell. It's actually odorless. But when that moisture mixes with bacteria living on your skin, especially in warm, dark places like between your toes, it creates the perfect storm for that unmistakable stink. And because feet are often confined all day in tight footwear, there's no chance for that sweat to dry. The result? A lingering odor that sneaks into your socks, shoes, and even the floors you walk on. Think of it like this. Your feet are working hard all day, trying to regulate temperature and flush out waste, but they're trapped in a tiny sauna. The sweat builds up, and without proper cleaning and drying, bacteria feast on that moisture and produce the foul smell you and others notice. Many seniors assume foot odor is simply part of aging, but that's not true. It's a treatable issue, and it starts with paying closer attention to your feet, especially the areas we tend to ignore. How often do you really wash and scrub between your toes? Do you let your feet fully dry before putting on socks? Most people don't, and that's where the problem begins. So if you've been blaming your shoes or thinking it's just you, don't worry. The solution is simple, affordable, and starts right at home. In just a moment, I'll share some easy habits that have helped thousands of my patients freshen up their feet and regain their confidence around family and friends. You are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable? Please comment below to let me know you are here. And if you are not yet subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Your support helps us continue to create good, continuous content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move on to cause number 2, because your shoes might be doing more harm than good. Now that you know sweat itself isn't the enemy, it's what happens after the sweat sits that causes foot odor. Let's talk about where that moisture goes, your shoes and socks. After a long day of walking, sitting, or even just relaxing at home, your shoes and socks absorb all that sweat we talked about earlier. But here's the tricky part. Most people don't give them enough time to dry out, and many seniors wear the same pair of shoes multiple days in a row. That's a mistake. Why? Because moist shoes become the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and fungi. These tiny organisms thrive in warm, damp environments. So even if you wash your feet thoroughly, if you put them right back into damp, bacteria-filled shoes, the odor comes right back and sometimes worse than before. Think of it this way. Your shoes are like little sponges. They soak up sweat and trap it. If you don't let them dry, clean them, or rotate pairs, that bacteria builds up and doesn't go away. Over time, it gets deeper into the fabric, especially in sneakers or closed shoes. And your socks? If they're synthetic or worn multiple days in a row, they trap heat and moisture. turning your feet into a sauna all over again. One of my patients, Paul, 69, once told me, "Doc, I clean my feet daily, but the smell always comes back." When I asked how often he rotated his shoes or changed his socks, he said, "Oh, I usually wear the same shoes every day, and socks maybe every other." That was it. Once he started rotating 2 or 3 pairs of shoes and changing into fresh cotton socks daily, the odor vanished in less than 2 weeks. Here's a pro tip. Sprinkle a little baking soda inside your shoes at night. It absorbs moisture and kills odor-causing bacteria. Let your shoes rest at least 24 hours before wearing them again. And always choose breathable materials. Cotton socks and leather or mesh shoes are your best friends. Remember, even the cleanest feet can't stay fresh if they're trapped in dirty, damp footwear. Your shoes need just as much attention as your skin. In the next section, we'll cover a spot even more commonly missed, and it might be the reason your clean feet still give off an odor. So you've started rotating your shoes and wearing fresh socks. Great. But if your feet still have a lingering odor, it's time to take a closer look at a spot most people completely ignore: between the toes. It might sound simple, but not cleaning between your toes thoroughly is one of the most common reasons foot odor refuses to go away. After a day of walking or wearing closed shoes, moisture gets trapped in those tight little spaces. And if you're not scrubbing and drying them properly, you're leaving behind a warm, damp environment where bacteria and fungi thrive. Think about it when you shower. Do you actually separate your toes and wash between them with soap? Or do you just let water run over your feet and assume they're clean? Most people, especially older adults, tend to rush this part of hygiene or simply forget it altogether. But the skin between your toes is very thin and vulnerable. When it stays damp, it becomes the perfect hiding place for odor-causing microbes and even leads to fungal infections like athlete's foot. One of my patients, Linda, 73, came to me saying, "Dr. Henry, I've done everything: new socks, foot powder, clean shoes, but something still smells." When I asked if she cleaned between her toes, she looked surprised. "No, I just wash over my feet." That was the missing piece. After 1 week of carefully washing and drying between her toes daily, her foot odor decreased drastically. She even said her slippers didn't smell anymore. Here's what I recommend. Use a gentle soap and a soft washcloth or your fingers to get between each toe when you shower. Take your time, don't rush it. After your shower, pat the area completely dry with a towel, especially in the folds. Moisture left behind is a key cause of persistent odor. If reaching your feet is tough, use a long-handled sponge or soft brush, and consider using a hairdryer on a low, cool setting to ensure complete dryness between the toes. These small habits make a big difference. Remember, clean feet are about more than just a quick rinse. The space between your toes may be small, but if you overlook it, it can undo all the effort you're putting into staying fresh. Up next, we'll talk about another sneaky area that traps odor, and it's probably been neglected for years without you even knowing. By now, you understand how important it is to wash and dry between your toes thoroughly. But even if you're doing all the right things during your hygiene routine, there's still one major factor that could be sabotaging your efforts: your shoes themselves. Let's talk about breathability. Most people don't realize just how much their footwear can affect odor. After all, you can scrub your feet clean and dry every day, but if you slip them into non-breathable shoes made from synthetic materials, you're basically wrapping them in plastic wrap. There's no airflow. The sweat and heat build up, and before you know it, you've created a mini sauna, a paradise for bacteria. In fact, this is one of the most overlooked causes of smelly feet in older adults. Many seniors stick with their favorite old shoes out of comfort, not realizing that those same shoes may be trapping sweat and allowing odor-causing microbes to thrive deep inside. Some synthetic shoes even trap moisture inside their padding, and since the foot isn't able to breathe, bacteria continues to multiply all day long. A patient of mine, Tom, 70, said, "Dr. Henry, I bought these memory foam sneakers because they're comfortable, but my feet smell worse than ever." When I checked, they were made of a thick synthetic fabric with no ventilation. I suggested he try a lightweight, breathable mesh pair with cotton socks. 2 weeks later, the odor was gone. Comfort stayed, but the smell didn't. Here's what to look for. Choose shoes made from natural or breathable materials, like leather or mesh. These allow air to circulate and help moisture evaporate instead of trapping it. If you live in a warm or humid area, this is especially critical. Rotate your shoes daily so each pair has time to air out. And don't forget your socks, cotton, or bamboo blends are best for absorbing sweat and letting your skin breathe. Shoes that don't breathe don't just cause odor. They can lead to skin irritation, fungal infections, and foot discomfort, especially in seniors with more sensitive skin. So remember, fresh feet aren't just about what you clean, they're also about what you wear. Coming up next, a hidden source of odor that people rarely talk about, but it might be affecting your entire room, not just your feet. We just talked about the importance of breathable shoes and how synthetic materials can trap sweat and heat, turning your shoes into a breeding ground for odor. But here's something equally important. Even if you do wear the right kind of shoes, they still need time to breathe and dry out properly between uses. And that brings us to one of the most common but overlooked habits: wearing the same pair of shoes every day. It might seem harmless, especially if you have a favorite comfy pair, but putting your feet into yesterday's damp, bacteria-filled shoes is like pressing rewind on all your good hygiene. Shoes need time to fully dry out, especially if they're worn for hours at a time. When they don't, moisture lingers deep in the fabric and soles, giving bacteria a consistent place to thrive. One of my longtime patients, Paul, 69, admitted, "Doc, I only own 2 pairs of shoes. I wear the same ones for days until they look dirty." I explained to him that odor isn't just about dirt, it's about moisture and time. When he started rotating between 2 pairs every other day and letting each pair air out for at least 24 hours, he noticed a real change. Even my slippers don't smell anymore. Here's a simple fix. Own at least 2 or 3 pairs of everyday shoes and alternate them. While one pair is airing out, you wear the other. This gives each set of shoes time to release trapped moisture and prevents that sour, damp smell from building up. To take it a step further, remove insoles after wearing to let them dry separately. If you're dealing with persistent odor, sprinkle a bit of baking soda inside the shoes overnight to absorb moisture and neutralize smells. Just shake it out before putting them back on. And don't forget, socks matter too. Always wear clean, cotton socks and change them daily, even more often if your feet tend to sweat. Avoid wearing socks for multiple days in a row, no matter how clean they look. Improper shoe care doesn't just make your feet smell. It can ruin your shoes, damage your skin, and make people around you uncomfortable without you even realizing it. Taking a few extra steps to let your shoes rest and recover makes a world of difference. One of the most powerful lessons from this story is that small changes can bring big transformation, not just to our health, but to our relationships and self-worth. As we age, it's easy to feel like we're slowly fading into the background, especially when our bodies change in ways we didn't expect or ask for. But the truth is, we still have control over how we care for ourselves, how we show up for our loved ones, and how we choose to live each day. Simple habits like drinking warm water, walking in the sun, or gently washing forgotten parts of the body might seem minor, but they're really acts of self-respect. These routines don't just freshen our skin, they refresh our spirit. When you take care of yourself with intention, others notice not just in how you look or smell, but in how you carry yourself. Confidence returns, hugs come back, smiles stay longer. And most of all, you begin to feel like yourself again. Aging doesn't mean giving up, it means growing wiser, listening to your body and embracing each day with purpose, care, and quiet strength. You are still deeply valuable, and it's never too late to take back your joy. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Please share in the comments one insight you gained and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your feedback is invaluable and keeps us motivated. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support enables us to continue creating content that informs and inspires. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.